Final Fantasy XVI is looking like one of the best games of the year, but more than that, it's also looking like an evolution for the character action game genre, looking to address many of the issues that usually keep more casual gamers from trying a game like Devil May Cry, while at the same time giving Devil May Cry fans a new and innovative action game. What issues am I talking about though? The first and obvious would be the story aspect of these games. Even if we ignore the fact that the plot and writing for an action game is okay at best, the biggest issue is that all of these games are self-aware about the fact that people play them for the gameplay, so the stories usually reflect that by being incredibly lighthearted. For fans of the genre, that's part of the charm. I too enjoy Dante doing the moonwalk, but for newcomers, stuff like that can be off-putting, similar to how some people can't really get into anime. Those same people probably won't like Devil May Cry. Final Fantasy is addressing this by having a story that's more mature and a plot that's more streamlined. This will also help the people that care about the story as much as gameplay have an easier time getting invested. The quality of the full story and writing remains to be unseen, but from what they've shown and how people who've previewed the game describe it, I would be shocked if the story ends up disappointing. Moving on, I want to talk about what they're doing to the gameplay to make it more accessible. On top of a story mode and action mode, which is pretty standard, there's accessories you can equip that can alter aspects of the game to make it easier for you, such as a ring that allows auto combos or a ring that slows time before an enemy hits you. For people that are unfamiliar with this kind of action game, equipping these accessories can help ease them into combat, then maybe when they get more accustomed, take them off. Some people will definitely use them to play through the whole game, but I'd rather they do that than not play the game at all. If a big budget character action game does well, that means we'll get more, which is something I'm all for. But now, let's get into what's being done that elevates the game for people who are already fans of the genre. The first and most important thing I would say is that this game is also being designed as an RPG at its core, meaning there will be more content, including side quests and most likely a post-game, to increase the amount of hours before you start your second playthrough. The RPG aspects will also give more meaning to the action. Instead of fighting enemies and only worrying about getting a high score, you'll be getting EXP to level up, new weapons and armor for doing quests, and on top of wanting to get into combat just because it's fun, there'll be more feedback from the game for engaging with it, which is objectively better, but is another thing that's great for new players. The last thing I want to talk about, which is a big thing for me personally, is the fact that Clive is the only playable character. I love DMC5, but it's frustrating being forced to switch between characters in the story mode. My favorite character is Nero, so when I'm not Nero in the story, I'm just having less fun, and I wouldn't be surprised if plenty of people agree with this, just with different characters. Clive being the only character solves this issue, but it also allows for him to be moldable and fit any player's playstyle. Instead of Nero being the only one with charge shot, Virgil being the only one with judgment cut end, or Dante being the only one with the royal guard parry, Clive can just have all three, and from what we've seen, it looks like there's a good variety of different moves that come with unique mechanics. Clive can perfect dodge and counter with a ranged or melee move, perform finishers on weak downed enemies, parry by attacking at the right time, parry by blocking then countering. He can enemy step, he has Nero's grab, he has Nero's charge shot, kind of. He can homing teleport dash, he has a stinger, a plunge move, judgment cut end, a devil trigger, and Torgal is a whole mechanic that can be used for even more combo potential. To me, it seems the developers really took the best parts of the greatest character action games and just fused them together with an RPG to make one super action game with an insane budget and scale. It's hard to imagine a world where this game isn't phenomenal, and I really do think it's going to be the first Japanese style character action game that really pushes into the mainstream in a way that games like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta just haven't. But that's the video. Let me know if I'm overhyping the game. Let me know if I'm crazy. All that, let me know. And thanks for watching.